Firstly, congratulations for getting to the point in your training when you're now ready to start looking at the business module. I've created this learning platform so that you can work through the requirements at your own pace, and I understand that you'll have lots of questions throughout as to how the knowledge is relevant to you. So to help and support you along the way, we also have some Zoom virtual classroom sessions where you can come and ask questions and discuss your business ideas and problems, as well as a community Facebook and WhatsApp group. I'm hoping that you'll take full advantages of these, as well as my over 30 years of experience of running a small business. You can use this program to mould your business without taking the qualification. Throughout the course, there'll be activities for you to do which will form part of the requirements for the qualification. However, are good practice within a business development strategy. As Benjamin Franklin famously said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. The City and Guild's assignments for this qualification is in 4 parts. However, you can't just jump to the assignments. You need to do the work first and think about your business strategy. These 4 parts meld into one larger assignment, and they overlap continuously, as you will see as you go throughout the sections. The task 1C, which requires the business plan, uses information gained from the other 3 tasks. The thing about the business module is it is a whole set of new skills and way of thinking that you probably haven't ever thought about before. And one of the problems is that people think they get their qualification and they put it out on Facebook, they get a web page or what have you, and suddenly people start flocking to them, and that just isn't the case. And if you speak to anybody who's got a business of any sort, whether it's a sole trader or a limited company or a partnership or whatever, they will tell you that it takes probably in the region of about 2 years to establish yourself. And that's when you have got your concept about what you are trying to offer to your clients already sort of established and set up. When you hit the road with a very woolly, I'm going to offer reflexology to anybody who wants it, whenever they want it, wherever they want it, however they want it, you blur the guidelines for the people that are actually looking at you, and they can't see that you've got a solution to their problem. So there are a number of sections in here, which some of them are needing your understanding so that you can dismiss them. So for instance, you need to understand the business structure of a sole trader, a limited company and a partnership, so that you can dismiss the ones that aren't relevant for you. So you don't need to know a director's responsibilities with HMRC if you are not going to be a limited company, but you need to know that there is an option to be a limited company and have gone through the process of dismissing it because you are informed. So that's what a lot of the underpinning knowledge is all about. So the first section is all about that concept, basically, is understanding what you need to know and what you need to put in place and what you need to think about before you even go into this whole business thing. So that's just information, really. The second section is also about employment opportunities. So this is a bit about, why do you need to know about full-time and part-time contracts if you're going to be working for yourself? Well, you need to know that because even working for yourself, you might be in a position where you are selling your services to another business. So you might be in a situation where, as a sole trader, you are asked to do some work for a wellness centre or a residential home, and they give you a contract. Well, you need to understand that they can't give you a contract if they are expecting you to pay your own national insurance and be responsible for your own tax. They can't have it both ways. So you need to understand what employment contracts are to know where you sit. And it might be that you never need to get involved with contracts, But on the other hand, you might grow your business to the point where you need to employ or engage with somebody to help your business. And you might decide that it might be better to employ somebody. And why would you employ somebody? Because then you can control what they do. Why would you not employ somebody? Because it gives that person that you're working with the flexibility to work with other people, and then makes them more desirable for you because they probably have more skills and you are not responsible for drip feeding them every step of the way. So you need to understand the process of all of that to know when it's appropriate and when it's not appropriate. And even if you don't know it in infinite detail now, you'll know that there is this thing that if you were in that position, you would need to go and look up. So that's why it's there. So it's a case of really of reading and researching and clocking the information. You don't actually have to do anything with it at this time. The research business is probably the most important thing for you at this point, is that you need to research the business that you're going into and whether actually what you are suggesting is a viable proposition. And the task that you need to do is all about why is research important, and what are the ways in which you can research the need for your business. So there are activities for you to do. And if we just have a look at this one at the moment, because it's got a star by it, it relates to the assignment. So the assignment that is currently on the platform, Julia, you've got a slightly different one, which you've already done and dusted, so you can kind of almost ignore this, is all about why you need to carry out research, what sources of information can you use, what different types of research methodologies are there, and methods of validating that research. So you need to be thinking about who are your existing clients, who are you working with now, so your case studies probably, but have you got a previous business? Is there a client base that's already working with you that you are moving into offering complementary therapies to? You also need to identify what your ideal client wants. Now, there is somewhere down here a bit about a client avatar. So a client avatar, or an ideal client, is a profile of what that person looks like. And in essence, the biggest thing is, what is their problem? And I don't mean what is their problem, I mean, what is their problem? What do they have a challenge with? And what can you do to help them solve that problem? So it's not a case of my ideal client wants reflexology, because very few people wake up in the morning, apart from me, and go, oh, I really could do with a reflexology treatment. Most of your clients will say something like, oh, God, I really didn't sleep very well last night. I wish I could sleep better. That's their problem. What do they want? They want to be able to sleep better. How can they sleep better? By engaging with you as a complementary therapist, and one of the tools that you'll have in your toolbox is to provide reflexology. So the reflexology is the solution, but it's not the actual thing that you're selling. What you're selling is you're selling the ability to sleep better. You're selling the ability to cope with the menopausal symptoms better. You're selling the solution to be calmer and more in control of your emotions so that you have a better relationship with your teenage son. That's what you're selling. It can be wherever you want it to go, but it needs to be something that's speaking to a particular person. And then you would then say, well, who is that person? And this blanket, anybody who wants reflexology, isn't good enough, because when you're writing your copy for your website, for your emails, for your anything that you're sending out to your clients, even your adverts, even your flyer, even your price list, you need to have the idea of who it is you're speaking to and what language do they use. So if we come back to here, of who is your ideal client, and there's this jot form here. If you click on that, it takes you through to the jot form platform, and you can create a questionnaire. Maybe a questionnaire might be, how would you describe your feeling about your problem? I mean, if you're targeting it to, let's just say, menopausal women, you might be saying, out of the 10 different emotions, which 3 emotions do you go through on a regular basis? And you might put on there things like inadequate, stressed, frustrated, angry, all of these different kind of emotions. And then you might ask the clients, is there another emotion that you feel, and get them to actually put it in, because you need to be using the language that they use, and you might have an idea of what that client feels, but actually that's not what the client feels, and you need to actually know what it is. So that's what that is all about. There's a little bit on location as well, but okay, so we then have the legalities. So all of these lovely things that you actually do need to know about. And there is an activity, not an assignment, an activity. There, activity. So this activity is, it's not showing here, but basically it's a box with all of the legislation that you need to consider, and it asks you to identify how it affects you. Might not affect you at all. So let's just say performing rights for your music. You need a license if you are going to play music in the workplace. The workplace is designated, and somewhere up here it talks about what is a workplace. A workplace is anywhere where customers can come to. So that doesn't apply to mobile, but it does apply to a salon, a clinic, your own home, your cabin, a residential home, the garden, anywhere where somebody can actually come in and engage with you. So in that box, if you are working mobile, you might put, I understand I don't need a license, and therefore it's not applicable. But you need the information, and you need to show me that you know that it's not applicable. It might also be that you have decided to engage with performance rights free music. So iChill music is a prime example, but there are a few. So you might put in that box, I understand I need a license if I am playing music. However, I'm only going to play iChill and I've bought the app, or I'm going to buy the app. Now that's important, because when you get down to the business plan, if you've said in there that you are going to use the app, then you need to show me that you've actually included the cost of the app in your financial plan, because you're either buying it or you're subscribing to it on a monthly basis. So that needs to be in there. So it's an activity that is not directly related to an assignment, but it's an activity you need to do to be able to prepare you for the assignment, which is coming later on. Let's go back up to research a business contact. This is where, oh no, I've just done that one, sorry. The support. So there's information here about how you can support yourself through money. So this is about how you can organize the logistics, if you like, of how are you going to run this business? How are you going to book your appointments? Or how are your clients going to book your appointments? How are you going to come to the idea of the price? Are you going to just randomly go, well, everybody else is charging this, so I'm going to charge this? Or are you going to look, which is what this salon pricing app does, at how much is the treatment costing you to actually run? How much do you want to earn? And how does that fit into your overall aim of your business? What do you want your business to do? Are you looking for a solution for yourself so that you can give up what you are currently doing? And if that is the case, what does that look like? how many pounds per month, per week, whatever, do you need to bring in? And therefore, how many clients does that equate to at this price? If you were to up your price, would you then be able to look after fewer clients? And if you were looking after fewer clients, would you be able to do more for them and justify a higher price? So basically, do you want to work at a low price and be very busy? Or do you want to offer a higher price, work with fewer clients, and put more into it? So that's something to think about. What is your offer to these people? How are you going to record the money that's coming into your business? Because you're going to have to be taxed on this, and you need to prove potentially to customs and not customs and excise, HMRC, that you are only taking this amount of money and therefore you're paying tax on this amount of money. And if you have got a full-time job as well, then you're going to have a slightly different requirement, because you're going to have to do a self-assessment which takes into consideration the money you're earning from other people as well. So that's all about money. Operations is thinking about the structure. What do you want your business to do? How is it going to work? How many hours are you going to work? And how are you going to organize yourself? What happens when you go on holiday or you don't have any clients in? Where's the money going to come to support you from that? So it's looking at a structure, and this is a really, really good. They've actually just recently changed that, and I haven't changed it in here yet, unfortunately. It's not £1 a month. It's a free month. Free trial, or you pay for a month, and then if you decide you don't like it, you get your money back or whatever. It's about £30 a month. It's well worth it, 100% well worth it. Then with the marketing, huge subject. It can go on forever, and that's not what this course is about. This courses are not about marketing your business. It's about business practices. It's the stuff underneath it, if you like. There are so many support processes for marketing. I've included as much as I can in here, and I wouldn't go to DP marketing. I think they're very expensive, and but if you look at it, they'll give you some idea of what they would do for you, which would give some idea about where you can go to search more things. Outsourcing, I have a fabulous support help which I've engaged with recently. If anybody would like additional support for their businesses, then I know a woman who can. But there are also some other links here. If you want just a job done, you want a flyer created, Canva is amazing to use. I think that's in marketing somewhere, but also you can pay for somebody to do it on one of these platforms, and they're mainly people that are in India that will work for next to nothing, sadly, but for us it's very good. Then we've got marketing and public relations. So this is all about your branding, and this is where your client avatar comes in. So it is this one here is quite good to have a look at. There's a template for you to download and fill in details about your ideal client. A lot of the platforms, if you go onto and search client avatar, they will ask you to identify things like, where does your client shop? What clothes do they wear? It's more about trying to understand, are they people that are very brand aware? So if you're selling a product, it's maybe a little bit more relevant. Or where do they buy their products? Because maybe that's something that you can feed into for your promoting and your advertising. Maybe not really relevant. So really, I guess the clients that you're looking for are going to be people that are interested in natural health, well-being. So maybe they are already subscribed to certain magazines, books, they read certain articles. So finding people that like things that you can then use keywords and target is quite important as well. But you can't do any of this. You can't do any marketing. You can't do anything until you know what it is that you are offering, to whom, when, where, and how. So we have the kind of the what, where, when, who, and how, and all of those things need to be covered in your business plan. We talk about names, and certainly from an SEO, search engine optimization point of view, if you have any area demographic in your business name. So if you said Happier Holistic Healing Chelmsford, then anybody who is looking for anything to do with holistic in Chelmsford, if they put in a search, holistic treatments Chelmsford, would automatically be signposted to your site. So that's what search engine optimization is all about. So that's why it's worth thinking about. So there's some information on here as well, on there, and a couple of branding things as well. This is one of our massage students, and this is Penelope, who's one of our reflexology, but very, very strong branding and strong marketing, because they took the time to think about what do they actually want to create for their clients. So that's worth looking at as well. And then some options here that you can do to promote yourself. So again, all of this is going to feed into your business plan. So the majority of the work that you'll do is all about your business plan. These are some examples, some information about what we mean by all of these things. And so there's a bit more on search engine optimization there as well. But again, nothing for you to actually do, information for you to think about and think about what you're going to do. This is the meaty bit. So this is where people fall down because they don't put enough time and effort into actually thinking about all of these things. So I've tried to make it as self-explanatory as possible, and all of these things here feed back, and this is where you get all of your information from here to go into here. So you cannot just jump into the assignment and just do the assignment, which some people have done, and they found that actually they've come completely unstuck because it's not met the criteria, because they haven't done the work on the business and thinking about how they're going to set it out. It's really hard and it's time consuming, but I promise you it's necessary. So your executive summary is really an overview. So it's a snapshot of what is the business, what does it do? So we've got here, what is the problem that you seek to solve? Okay. What are you wanting to do for yourself? Is it that you are wanting to give back to charity and you've got a target of £100 a month that you would like to generate and give to charity? One of our students did that. She had a full-time job in London. She didn't want to do it as a business, but she needed to do this business unit. So she created it all around offering treatments to, I think it was people that had any kind of mental health issue, and obviously that's a very broad spectrum, that wanted some relaxation that couldn't afford it. So that was her specific demographic. She was looking for people that had no spare money, that was stressed, and that needed some support. So she did treatments, a little bit like we do with our caring for carers. She did treatments and people paid her. She then gave back to other people that couldn't afford. And she aimed to raise £100 a month so that she could give £100 worth of treatments the following month. So that's how she did it. So that was her mission statement. Yours might be that you want to earn an extra £1,000 a month because you want to give up your employment or your part-time employment. It could be that you want an extra £300 a month because you want to be able to pay for a new car, or you want to save for a trip. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's your journey and it's your business, but it's got to have a mission. Otherwise, you've got no direction. You know, why is your services different? How is your business going to succeed in a very crowded marketplace? Okay, who is your ideal client? Where are they? Where are you going to find them? And the ownership. So who owns the company? What legal identity is it? Business overview is in a little bit more detail. It's a little bit more about exactly what are the services. So you might say this is what this solution. The solution is providing complementary treatments for carers in order for them to feel more rested, more relaxed, and also to feel more valued, that they're actually getting some time for themselves as well. And in order to do that, I'm going to offer Indian head massage, I'm going to offer some Reiki, I'm going to do a health check with them, I'm going to give them a time that they can actually have a cup of tea, or you're doing a very functional treatment that's going to be an hour's treatment and out the door, because you're offering something that's very bespoke and a particular need, but you're going to offer it to them maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know. This is up to you to decide what it is. Where are you going to get the money to start up? A lot of our reflexologists and complementary therapists that do this program have actually got an awful lot of the stuff, but nevertheless, you still need to cost it. It's capital. It's part of your business ownership that you can claim against tax. So you still need to identify where that money came from, because ideally, really, you should be logging it and then you would pay it back to yourself when your business makes a profit. Then we've got the business description. Self-explanatory here. How are you pricing? So it's not just I'm charging £30 an hour. It's I'm charging £30 for the treatment, and the cost of that is the whole treatment time to get to the client's house, to set up, to do the treatment, then to come away again when I'm ready to do something else is 2 hours. So actually now I'm only working for £15 an hour. And then the cost of laundry, the cost of my products is this. So I'm actually only earning £12 an hour. So actually suddenly that £30 treatment charge doesn't look so good when you're thinking about £12 an hour. And then you've got all of the costs associated with that. So we've got our costs of goods sold, which is how much does it cost me to perform the treatment. So that would be obviously the products, the laundry, the getting to the person's house. Then you've got expenses. So those things only happen if the treatment goes ahead. Then you've got expenses, which will happen regardless of whether the treatment goes ahead. So it could be your insurance, could be your payment to an app, payment to somebody to support the business, your hosting for your website, whatever it is. Regardless of whether you are on holiday or whether you are doing 20 clients a week, you've still got that charge. So that's what we call a business expense. So all of those need to be identified. Collaborators, who's going to help you, who's referral partners. Working with other complementary therapies is really, really useful to do. Market analysis. This is basically, why do you think there is a need for what you are offering? With our industry, there is some research that you can do, that there's lots of things that you can cite to confirm that actually complementary therapies is a growing market. So you need to do a little bit of research on that. I'm not going to challenge you on that because I know that there is, but you need to prove to yourself. You need to look at the competition. Everybody is competition in one way or another, because it's competition for your client's pound. So if the client isn't spending that pound with you, where else might they be spending it? So are you rivaling for a new handbag? Rivaling a new handbag? Are you wanting to persuade your client in your marketing that instead of buying a new handbag or going on holiday, they should actually come and invest in a weekly treatment, a monthly treatment with you? And why? What benefit is it going to give them that a handbag won't give them? So this is where you come back to your ideal client. What are they spending their money on at the moment that is stopping them from spending time with you? Okay. SWOT analysis is very conventional. I think most people understand the concept of your own strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within your business. The operational plan is detailing. So the word order fulfillment basically is how a client's going to book with you. It's all very well having a beautiful flyer or price list or something that says, here I am, but there's no call to action. The client doesn't know how they can book an appointment. And you have to assume that your clients know nothing about anything. So it needs to book an appointment, click here. To book an appointment, call me now. To book an appointment, go to this website, whatever it needs to be. To claim your free extra 15-minute head massage with your first appointment, whatever it is that you do, you need to spell it out. Okay, so that's what operations is all about. And then your marketing. So that feeds into there. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? So if you are doing questionnaires, you need to include the questionnaire in your business plan. Okay. What happens when a client contacts you? The first thing that happens. Now, we've been undergoing a lot of home renovations over the last couple of years, and one of the biggest frustrations that we have had is getting a tradesman to the point where we can actually book them. First of all, they are impossible to get hold of. So they don't answer their phone, obviously, because they're working. They have no service to actually support that process. You can pay pennies to engage a virtual assistant to answer the phone for you and to send you an email when somebody calls that number. It really costs nothing. And you have to think, how much am I prepared to invest in a new client, and how valuable is that client over the lifetime of how long they're going to be with me? If a client is going to be with you, let's just say 5 years, how much is that client going to give you on an annual basis? And if you are spending £5 on achieving that client, is that not worth it? So you need to think about the whole process of that. So you can engage in a service, or you can have a website where they can book online. But what happens then? So getting hold of these people, they'll come and do a quote. So you're going to maybe call them and have a chat to them about the services. Then what happens? I know that, we have a conversation, somebody comes along, they give a quote, and we sit on it for a while because we're looking at other quotes, or we're thinking about when we can fit it in. The people that have got our money are those that have actually rung us up and gone, "Hi Louise, gave you a quote last month. How's it going? Any questions? What stopped you from going forward? Is there something that I can do, about that?" It might be, "Yeah, well, you were really too expensive. Really wanted to use you, but you're too expensive." Or it might be, "No, I really want to use you, but I actually haven't quite, got around to doing it yet. Thank you for the contact." And that will just stay on the top of your mind. Are you going to do that? Are you going to send them an email? Are you going to drop them a text? Are you going to subscribe them to a mailing list so that you're in their mind all the time, so that when they think, "Oh, I'm a bit stressed. Oh, I remember seeing that article on. I'm going to go and find that. I know that this person is somebody that I might want to see." And how are you going to take the booking? How are you going to take the money at the end of the treatment? Then you've got your financial plan. So this is looks a bit scary, but it's not. It's actually no more than you probably already do with your household expenses. If you want to know whether you can go out next month and have a meal with a friend, or go to the cinema, or go to theatre, or whatever, you will look at all of these things that you've got going on in your life, and you will make a decision as to whether you can do it this month or not. That's all the business is. That's all it is how much money have I got coming in? How much money have I got going out? That's what profit and loss is on a monthly basis. Have I made a profit this month? Have I made a loss this month? And then your projection would be looking at, okay, so these are my overall business expenses. This is how much I've decided to charge. I know that I need to engage with 5 clients in order to make enough money. And then you go back to your marketing and your sales and your operations and go, well, how many clients have I actually got right now? So if I'm saying that I need 20 clients this month to meet my costs, and I haven't got 20, what am I going to do? So what am I going to do to actually get them in the door? And what am I going to do to maintain them? And what am I going to do if I can't? What's my contingency plan on a month by month basis? And then we've got a little Excel spreadsheet there, which adds up everything for you. So you don't even have to do anything else. So that's what the business plan is all about. So then we come on to the assignments. This is your general thing. Now, a lot of the work on here is City and Guild speak. So I've tried to kind of make it a little bit clearer as to the pass, merit or distinction. You will not pass this if you haven't shown me that you've got a sufficient idea that you won't drown when I release you into the big bad world and let you develop your business. So I don't need you, and you don't necessarily need you to get a distinction. I need you to get a pass because it's like passing your driving test. I need to know that you've thought about your ideal client, you've thought about money, you're not going to crash and burn, you're not going to invest thousands of pounds in building an extension to your house to find that actually you're niching your clients so much that actually you're not going to get any clients in the door because you haven't got a pathway through. So the first one here is about producing a research document. So this is about you researching your business. Who is your client? Are they out there? What do they want? What time of day do they want to be able to come? Because if you find out that your ideal client is only really available on weekends and you're not prepared to work weekends, you've got a problem. So you need to identify that. You need to identify the type of research that you're going to do. So if you are doing a questionnaire, then that questionnaire needs to be included. If you are going to send the question out to groups or on particular sections of audience, then tell me who you are going to send them to. Ideally, you should actually carry this out and get some results from it and then validate that research. Or tell me how you're going to validate it. So you're going to get all the results, you're going to put it in a pie chart, and then you're going to see how many people answered positively to your questionnaire. Or you're going to do the research and you're going to quantify it by numbers. So you've got a percentage of people that have responded. That's going to be your validation. So if you send it out to 100 people and 3 people respond favourably, that's not going to meet your requirements. This is actually very, very straightforward. So basically you've got a table, you're looking at being self-employed or employed, and within the self-employed you've got sole trader, partnership or limited liability company. What are the advantages and disadvantages with each of those? So very, very simple table form. And if you want to increase your grade, you need to put some personal perspective in it. Maybe you've been both, you've been once, you can actually tell me what was better for you in what situation, and then what's best for you now, because one of the key things is pension. You know, if you work for somebody else, you might very well, you have to have options to be in a pension. So that might be something that is a major comparison. But then that leads into your business plan, because part of what you might decide is it's important for you to have a pension. So you will put some of your takings into a pension. And then this is the biggie. This is the one that causes the most trauma, because it is so big. So I've given you a list here. I did have up until a couple of days ago a much smaller list, because City and Guilds say that they just want a business plan. They don't give you much more information than that. And the business plan has to cover 3 things. Well, yes, it does have to cover 3 things, but it also needs to cover a whole lot more. So I decided to put it on here, hopefully to make it a little bit easier for you. And these are the lists of things that you need to cover in your business plan. So it doesn't have to be in infinite depth, but it has to be covered to some degree, something rather. This link here is not terribly good, but it's something that might help you if you wanted to do it all electronically and then print it out. I'm going to shut my window because the bin men are here. So this one's a little bit more fun. So this is about creating your marketing. So you would go back to your marketing bit, wherever it is here, and think about how you are going to use all of these things. So every piece of marketing promotional material needs to be effective. There needs to be a reason for the person to have it. So if it's a business card, I would suggest that you have maybe a QR code on there. What's a QR code? A QR code is something that you can take your phone, hold it over the QR code, and it goes directly to a website or a Facebook page or a landing page, so that the client hasn't got to type into their phone or to their website your URL, because clients don't always look very carefully and they might get the wrong spelling. If they get the wrong spelling, they're not going to get where they want to get. so it might not be useful. You could also use a business card as a referral. So you could have refer a client, have a little space for the client's name to be put in there, so that when you're giving the business card out, it's not only got all of your information, but it's got maybe their name on it with a loyalty code. This could also be used with this one. And that when they give it to another client and the client books a treatment and brings it back to you, you reward the client that recommended plus the new client. So there's all sorts of offers and things that you can do there. A business card is great to have your picture on it because clients love to know who you are. So just having a picture of a lotus leaf or a palm tree or a candle or something, that's not you. That's fine if you are a corporate brand like Pepsi or Nike or whatever, because a client is going to recognize a particular image. But I can guarantee you that the image that you choose, if it's a candle or a lotus leaf or a whatever, 50 other people in the vicinity have got that image as well. So it's not bespoke to you. Having a picture of you, because it's your business, is very particular to you. So it needs to do something, and there is some information somewhere or other of what all of these things need to contain. And the acronym that I use is AIDA. So it's first of all an attention grabbing headline, which is your A, a description of what it is that you are doing, information, and a call to action. They are the kind of the most important things. So I've actually got City and Guilds, I'm very proud of this, to actually change this assignment. So they've actually put in here a press release, an article or a blog. Can't remember what they had before. And also the letterhead, because very, very few people actually use letterheads anymore. An email footer, if you're going to send out emails to people, is much more powerful. So you can do your own email footer and add that. Canva is amazing for creating all sorts of things. If you haven't been introduced to the world of Canva, then you need to do it. And there is a link somewhere along the line up there in the course as well. And Vistaprint as well is quite useful as well. It gives you other ideas about things that you can create. If you are going to create visuals, save them as draft and print them off or screenshot them, save them as a PDF and add them to your assignment. You don't need to purchase anything. So obviously, if you engage with something like Vista, they will like you to buy it, but you don't need to. It's just getting ideas about what you're going to use for your business as well. The most important thing with this is that you must explain how you are going to use each of these things. So if you're going to use an email footer, you need to be saying you're going to be using that because you're going to be emailing your clients their confirmation of their email, of their appointments, or you're going to be emailing the clients because you're going to be asking them for a testimony, or you're going to be sending them information as a follow-up, because that's part of the offer, is that you will always be giving your clients follow-up for their appointments. You're not just going to let them come and have a treatment and then disappear again. So can you see, hopefully, how all of these things, they all weave and they interchange? And the assignment is one thing, but the actual reality of how this works for you is also really important as well, moving forward. So we've got the Facebook group, where I will be putting this little video. We've also got the WhatsApp group. And we've also got just me on the other end of the phone if you ever needed to ask a particular question. And lastly, just to say, there's a discussion box in the top right hand corner that if you click on that, you can send a message. The benefit of that is that everybody else can see the responses, so we all learn from each other.